Right, YouTube, today is January 21st, and last night was the super blood moon. In any case, before we get started here, I just wanted to double check and make sure I was not wasting my time with my little project. So what I did here is I queued up a video by Jeranism, and for you Globers, I believe most of you've seen this, but if you haven't, take a look at this.
So now let JTolan Media 1 show you why he's demolishing the globe with his awesome infrared photography. JTolan, take it away.
But in infrared, you will show up clearly. Have a look at this miraculous imagery.
Look at that.
That's right. Look at that. Now, if you believe in the globe, how do you explain that? Are you going to tell me it's refraction? Or some other crazy explanation? Because it can't possibly simply be right there before your eyes. Well, that seems to be what infrared lenses are showing. And with that, I'm no longer going to be entertaining any globe questions, unless it's a good question. In any case, now that I know I'm on the right track, let's get to what I wanted to show you. Alright, so what I did was I took 3 sets of different cities. I tried to get 2 cities that were approximately the same distance from the equator. And on the spring equinox of 2016, I recorded the degrees of the sun from that particular city. Okay, as you'll see here on March 19th or whatever, the sun was at 21.7 degrees, right, in Arica, Chile. Okay, and the other location was Santo Domingo, and that one was at, where is it? You know, it's going to be behind here. There you go, 71.3 degrees. Now, what I was doing is, Santo Domingo was at 71.3 degrees with the sun on equinox day. Well, I wanted to find the moon at the exact same degrees. And so, going through time and date, I did find one, and that was on December 16th, 2018. The moon was exactly at 71.3 degrees. Well, so where in Arica, Chile would that come out to as far as degrees? Because I wanted to see if the moon was in the exact same place the sun was. And the moon on that particular date was at 71.1. The sun, when it was there, was 71.7. That's a difference of 6 degrees, 0.6 degrees, make that, over a span of 2,539 miles. That's the difference between Arica, Chile and Santo Domingo. So when you figure out the ratio of miles and per the distance, because this is drawn out to scale on a smaller scale, it would put the height of the sun at, I got it written up here, at 3,809 miles. And the moon comes out to 3,750 miles. That's how high it would be off the surface of the Earth, which means, in this case, the sun would be almost 60 miles above the moon. That's where it comes out to. Okay, this is my second set of locations, and I chose Santiago, Chile, and Boston. And if you could freeze this any time, I put all my notes over here, how many miles from the equator it was, and all that. Okay, for this one, on the equinox, the sun was at 47.5 degrees, and that's in Boston. Okay, over in Chile, in Santiago, Chile, the sun was at 56.8. Once again, I did the same thing. I looked for another date where the moon was exactly at 49 or 47.5 degrees. And again, I did find one, and that one came out to be May 9th of 2014. And this, you can double check any of this yourself. Okay, now on that date, May 9th in 2014, I checked the angle of the moon, and you'll see down here it's 55.6. Well, when the sun was seen in the sky, it was at 56.8. Okay, so that's a difference of 1.2 degree difference over a span of 5,215 miles. And once again, if you do the math to figure out the height of the sun and the moon, you can see up in this corner here, the sun is actually, on this particular one, 55 miles above the moon. And for my last set of cities, I wanted the greatest distance I could find. And I found two locations. I'm not even going to pronounce the one in Quebec, but the distance came out to 7,900 miles between the two. All right, and again, on the equinox date, we have the, well, where is it now? Where is it? There we go, March 19th. The sun was at 28.2 degrees from a location in Quebec, and over in Chile it was at 37.1. Doing the same thing once again, I found a date, and that one turned out to be June 8th 2018, where the moon was in the exact same spot in the sky as the sun was. All right, when you come over here on that same date, the moon from Chile was 35.4 degrees. Okay, so that is a 1.7 degree difference over 7,906 miles. All right, so when you do the numbers again, the height of the sun, in this case, would be 54.9 miles higher than the moon. And that's close enough to say it's 55. Any of these numbers and locations can be double checked, and all the information is on here. I mean, I even have the degrees the sun came in and degrees they left on that date. Alright, now finally what I did was I took all those locations and I put them on one sheet, and I'm only using the equinox date, as you see up here in the corner. And it seems like at the highest point, which would be the inner locations closest to the equator, the sun would appear to be about 3,800 miles above the surface of the earth. And you'll notice, we know where the sun is, and you'll notice where these intersect, it's off center. And the only reason that is because the distance is greater. If you look at the distances down here, you'll know the further away from the equator, the lower the sun is seen. Let's take the last example from Quebec and Chile over here. Okay, you see the sun there, but we know it's here. So from Quebec, the sun actually appears right here in the sky because we know it's above the equator. But from Chile, the sun is actually right here. That's where it appears. And again, the only reason that it's offset like this is because of the mere distance. Like this one's 4,200 miles from the equator, and Chile over here is a little over 3,600 miles. So that's why it appears like the sun is not over the equator, even though the date I use was March 19th, 2016. Now this is going to come in handy for what I'm going to do is I'm going to take probably 100 miles and 400 miles, use that as a starting point. And I did finish my my little display here I can fill with water, and we'll see if we can match these angles of what we see. That'll be in the next video.